If you run a clothing and apparel brand and you're preparing for BFCM, you should watch this audit until the end. I'm going to break down Cotopaxi store here live with you. I'm looking at the store right now in mobile version since that's probably where they're getting the most traffic. We're going to look at every single page and telling you what you should do better in these pages if you run a clothing brand to make sure you're prepared for BFCM and you can convert as much traffic as possible while getting the highest AOV possible. So let's start first from their homepage, and I want to mention something about running traffic to homepages for clothing brands especially. So we've tested this with a few different clothing brands. Running traffic to home pages with clothing brands is usually fine, but it's not the best performing option, at least from what we've seen from our split tests. Usually collection pages are what performs the best, both in terms of AOV, since customers can obviously scroll and see much more products on the collection page, and also second of all, a higher click-through rate to product page, since it's just one click from the collection page to the product page to actually reach the point where they can add the product to cart. Not that there is a problem to running traffic to home pages, but I want to remind you that just one added click in the customer journey from landing on your store to getting to checkout does reduce conversions by quite a lot. So getting off as many clicks as you possibly can while also showing as many products as you can will help you with conversions and AOV. But if you're running traffic to home pages, let's look at what we can do better here. So let's start first from their announcement bar. I clicked on these before. If you click on the free shipping, so this is a good announcement bar. They're calling out they have free shipping on orders $99 plus, and they have easy returns and exchanges. What I would expect from this announcement bar is that when I click on this, it's actually a call to action that redirects me to some kind of collection page where I can check out their products. But this redirects you to their shipping policy page. I think this is because they had the shipping policies here. I wouldn't do it like this. I would actually have a call to action that redirects you to checking out the products. Remember, the only goal of the homepage, if you're going to run traffic to a homepage, the only goal of a homepage, it has one single goal, is redirecting your traffic as fast as possible to collection or product pages. That's the only goal of a homepage. Customers can't convert on a homepage. They can't physically add products to cart. They need to be on the product page for that. So you need to redirect them there as fast as possible to not lose them and to not let them bounce off the store. So that's your goal when you're going to direct traffic to home. For that reason specifically, having the full length search bar here is fine. I wouldn't do this on any other pages beside the home page, because search bars obviously take quite a little bit of space on pages. And we need to optimize the space above the fold very well. So only on the home page, I'm fine with having the full length search bar. It helps with customers that are searching for something. They can type it in the search bar and can reach it pretty easily. The issue with the search bar here, it's not an issue, it's good enough, but it's not the best option, is that you have to search and click to actually see the results. So if I search for bag, it reloads another page and then you can see what bags are actually there. I would split test this with having a responsive search bar. You can do this with apps. We do it with custom code usually. That's how we do everything. So we custom build these things for clients specifically. So I would split test this with having a responsive search bar. So when I search for bag, for example, I get already the list of bags dynamically that are available, and then if I click search, I actually get to the page itself. So that's a split test I would run here for the search bar specifically. Here we have then they have call to actions to go directly to collection pages here. This is good. I would probably maybe change the order here of what collections they're showing, because bestsellers is at the end. So what you want to do here is obviously see what collection pages of yours are getting the most traffic and the highest click-through rates to product pages, and you would check that and you would see, for example, if bestsellers is getting the highest click-through rate and stuff like that and the most traffic, you would get that in the beginning, because it means that a lot of people like that page. But here they have the sales page as the first one, probably good. Then they have women's and men's. That's okay. That's good. Then they have packs and bags, which I think is their main product here. Although they also sell obviously jackets and stuff like that. But I would probably see which of these collections is getting the most traffic, the highest click rate, and ordering them in that fashion. And also, instead of having like black on white call to actions like this, or white on black call to actions, I should say, like these, I'd probably have images here. They help with like giving the idea of what's there for that collection. So you see packs and bags. Okay, let's show the customer an image of the type of packs and bags we sell, so they can have an idea when they're clicking on what they're getting out of the click. And yeah, I would probably like make them like the Instagram story style, where you have the circled image with the text on top, or in the text at the bottom with the black text on the white background, and having those to redirect to collections, probably another split test that I would run here. Then the homepage callout here is fine. They have a new color drop here for, I think, one of their products. They have a new color for each one of their products, and they have the shop now call to actions. We've usually seen white shop nows. I know that CTA colors are usually a meme in the CRO space, so people meme on testing CTA colors. Yeah, it's usually useless. You don't get a lot of results from that, but we've seen white CTAs not perform as good as like having branded colored CTAs that just simply attract attention more, they pop out more. So that's just about it. And in this case for BFCM, you'd obviously have the BFCM callout sale here, and that obviously goes also for the announcement bar, and for the collection call to actions here, you'd add a section for BFCM specifically. Then for BFCM obviously you would have different things here for the callouts and for the call to action to make sure if you're running traffic to the homepage, you want to get people as fast as possible. If they are accessing your store from BFCM creatives or BFCM content organic on social media, you want to make sure they get to that as fast as possible without having to scroll too much or have too many clicks to do before reaching that page. So let's look at their cart right now. We'll also look at it while it's empty and while it has a product in it. What you want to do with carts when they're empty, it's the same philosophy as with home pages. You can't do much with an empty cart. You want to add products in there, and so the callouts on carts need to be obviously 2 products or 2 collection pages where they can actually add something to the cart. In this case, I would say, so they're doing a good enough job with the call to actions here, like they have them on the homepage. I would probably add direct products in here. So what I would do is like sliders. So you have the packs and gears title, for example, here on the top left. Then you have a slider with all of the products in the packs and gears collection. Not all of them, but just maybe 3 or 4 of them, the best sellers of that collections, and then a plus button at the end, or a see more button at the end, where they can actually click and get to the collection. So you're getting 2 things in one, like this, if you split test it this way. One, you're showing the products immediately on there, and you have call to actions ready to go in the cart directly, so that's obviously good for that click-through rate. And then second, if they also want to go to the collection and see more products, they can click the plus button at the end or the see more button at the end, and they can go to the actual collection page. So it would split test instead of having just simple call to actions like these on the cart. I would showcase actually the products themselves with the images in a slider fashion, and then having a button at the end to go to the collection. Then I think these things are probably, so the guaranteed for good, this section here is probably good. This section here, I would probably not have it in this fashion right here. I don't know, like they have a donation button. Okay, so this is fine. It's like an initiative they have for the brand itself. I think you can actually go to checkout directly with just the foundation donation. So that's good, but I think that would actually do better if they show this when there's already something in the cart, not when the cart is empty. I think that would probably do better for the initiative itself to get more people to donate, and not just showing it by itself alone. And it also clutters the cart when the main action you want them to take here is to go through to the products and add them to cart. So I would show this. This is obviously good if they want to support the initiative. I would show this when there's already something in the cart. So I would probably do that. So let's add something random to cart to see how the cart looks when we have something in there, and then we're going to also look at all the other pages here. So let's just add this to the cart. So here they have a free shipping threshold, so that's good enough. Let's see what happens if we add something that's not reaching the threshold. So I think probably something in the $80 range, seeing the prices of their products. This is all 200. For example, this one is 45. This should not be enough for the free shipping. Okay, so they have the free shipping threshold bar. Good. I would probably show the progress a little bit better here. So you need to spend $54. Probably the wording here can be a little bit better. So instead of spend $54 more to qualify for free shipping, which sounds a little bit heavy, I would probably word it in a way of you're only $54 away from free shipping, to make it seem and sound like something you want to actually get to, and not spend $54 more to qualify for free shipping. So that's what I would do here. Change the wording around free shipping. Then here the product callout is fine. The selection here is fine. Prices are fine. Then they have the donation here button, which we've already seen before, for $1.15. So I don't have really specific results I want to mention here for the root shipping protection. I've had a lot of brands test this out on their cards. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. There's some brands where we've tested having this active by default, and it usually does not perform. They don't have it active by default, so I think that's probably the best option here. And it also takes a little bit of time loading. I think it's probably bugged, so let's reload the page here. Let's try to activate it again. Adds it to the cart. So I don't have really a specific results or a definitive results on root shipping protections. I've seen a lot of opinions on this. I don't have really a definitive opinion. You should probably test this for your own brand and see how it works, both with active by default and not active by default, and see how it performs for your brand. I personally think, okay, it's a little bit bugged here for their card, but that's usually the gimmicks around apps that do these things on Shopify. So that's about it. But I would probably test this out and see how it performs for your brand. There is not a definitive opinion on if root shipping protections and apps that offer similar services are good, but you should test this out for your own brand. Let's look also at menus here, which are very important for clothing brands because they usually have the most SKUs out of any niche in the e-com industry. So obviously menus for finding products are especially helpful when they're structured well. So the first cloud they have here is Explore Our Mission, which is a non-call to action related section of the menu. So I would probably have this at the end of the list, not at the top here, because at the top is what it's looked at the most. So if they want to increase sales, increase click-through rate to their actual products, I would have this at the bottom here near account and help, which are probably the less used call to actions here. Then we have the collections that they're showing also on the homepage. So you have packs and gears, women, men, and kids, and then they have sale, but they don't have the bestseller call out here. So I don't know why there is like this difference between the two. I don't know if their bestseller collection is actually performing that well at this point if they don't have it here in the menu. But I would probably keep it consistent between the two. So if you have the bestsellers here, and I think it's a little bit bugged right now, but if you have bestsellers here and if you have these collections here, I would probably also have them here just for informational consistency between the two. But I think also there's too many options here to choose from. If someone is going to use the menu, want to make it as easy as possible to reach what they're looking for. And so in this case, under every collection, there is another layer of separation, and then you click. So you go to packs and gears, and that's one click. You click, for example, on featured collection, and that's another click. And then you have to also see all of the things under that selection. So to arrive to the actual collection page, it's 3 clicks. I would usually, so 3 clicks is fine. I would try to keep it under 3 clicks if possible. So I think a better way of structuring this is, there's 2 ways you can do this. So instead of having like to click on the actual collection and then clicking again to see the products, I would actually probably redirect the click immediately to the collection itself. And then you could do a better work of doing filtering on the products on the collection page, which we're going to look at obviously after we look at menus right here. But that's a way I would probably do it instead of having that many clicks on the menu page. And if you're going to keep the structure right here, I would probably do the same work I mentioned before on the callouts both on the homepage and on the cart page with images. So instead of having everything laid out in this fashion, I'll probably use images to make it as easy as possible for customers to understand where they're going to and what they're getting from their clicks. And then they have full width callouts here, especially for new arrivals and bestsellers, but bestsellers is in this iteration is covered because the page ends here. So people are going to see this image, but they're not going to know that this is a call to action. So probably a little bit more work here on how to like clean up the menu and how to get customers as fast as possible to what they actually want to. And then also in the structure of the menu, as you can see, if you have the menu open right here, and if you click on something, there's this button to go back to the first menu. But if you scroll down and if you start looking at what's happening here, you don't have that button anymore, and you only see this big X right here, which makes the whole menu close, and then you have to do everything again. So probably a little bit of better layering and layout here for the menu page, and reducing the options here, which are, I think, too many for customers to choose between. I would probably do a little bit better work of laying out the menu right here. Let's look at the bestseller collection page here. So we're going to start from the filtering first, and then see how the actual product callouts look. So the filtering, I would actually say it's quite good on the collection page. What they're doing here is pretty good. They have the 2x2 layout, and I would actually remove the selection here to change the layout. Since on mobile, we've seen this times and times again, having 2x2 layout usually performs best. So I would probably remove even the possibility to select only one products at a time. This is for multiple reasons, but the main one is that if you just have two products side by side, you see more products, and so you have more selection to choose from when you're looking for buying things from a brand. So the AOV usually goes up. So I would remove probably the selection here. I would split test removing the selection. It's probably a minor test, but if they're getting enough traffic, they can get away with it. And the actual filtering for the products itself, I think it's good. I don't think there's really anything they can improve here. So if, for example, we choose something that's not available for everything and we view 11 results, it's dynamic, so it doesn't reload the page. It feels like you are staying on the same page. I've seen brands where the filtering is very, very heavy work. It seems like, so when you select stuff, it reloads the page every time, and if you change filters, it reloads the page again, and it just reloads the page 100 times, and it feels like it's not like a pleasant buying experience, if you get what I mean. So their filtering is definitely nice. So on that point, kudos for them for building this filtering. I don't know if they're using an app or if they built it custom, but this works pretty well for what we're looking at here. They also have callouts on the product card. So for new products, they have the new callouts. I think probably also for the sales, they also have the sales callouts. We can check that right away by going to the sale collection page. So yeah, they also have the sale collection page here. So that's good work on actually having the callouts there. Let's go back to the collection we're looking at here. So for the product cards, one thing I can mention here is probably having the price and the product title in the same text style. So both bold, both black doesn't really help with getting an immediately clear idea of what costs how much. So I'll probably change the style from the two here just for a little bit more clarity on every product. Then also the starts, I don't know why they have their stars in gray. You don't want to have something that just like almost invisible, like gray, especially for reviews, which are super important. So I would have this in a very simple plain, the standard yellow for stars, and that would help a lot with immediate recognizability and trust, since most stores, most websites, most brands use stars in yellow. So it would add to that clarity I was talking about before. Also for the prices, they have the variant selectors here on the collection page. It's actually not bad because you can sift through the variants without having to click onto the product page, so they can see immediately what interests them and what doesn't. And they also have it dynamic for products that are on sale, and the sales structure here, I think it's pretty good. So yeah, that's the collection page here. I think they're doing a pretty good job of having everything laid out pretty consistently here. So that's also a very, very good collection page for BFCM. So let's look now at our final destination, which in this case is the product page. So immediately there are a few things that I think should be done better here. So first of all, on product pages, since the customer reached what they want to look at, I would probably remove the search bar right here. As you can see, this is taking up too much space, too much white space taking up here by the full length search bar. You can still keep the search bar, just not in full length. In this fashion, you would unlock all of the space on the above the fold of a product page, which is very, very important in terms of priorities. So I would remove the full length search bar and just having the glass here near the cart, or here at the top with the other menu buttons. And then if you click on it, the full length search bar appears, but we should not take space from a product page above the fold, because that's where conversions happen, that's where add to carts happen. So we need to make this page above the fold as clean as possible. And then another thing you can immediately see here, so layering and layout works in a fashion where you have to showcase products with different importance in different ways. So in this case, obviously reviews and social proof in general is much more important than showing you where you actually are on the store, which in this case men's outerwear and men's insulation. And so this should be showcased in a different fashion, in a different spot in terms of importance and priority on the page. So having it one near each other here, it's not good to make sure like we get the trust and the authority in with the social proof. So I would showcase this somewhere here, probably under the title immediately, or near the price, or maybe even here under the product images, but just not at the top here near the categories for the product. since it's also dynamic, so you can click on it, I think, and you can actually go to the reviews. And so I would probably move this, still keep it above the fold, still keep it here in the view, but have it somewhere here where it's much more important in the layout of the page. And then obviously having the stars yellow just for what I mentioned before, clarity and immediate trust, just for that. And probably having a little bit more context on the reviews themselves. They just have the number of reviews. Maybe adding a little bit of copy there would help, making sure the reviews are actually important and clicked on the page. But yeah, that's probably what I would do here. Then this is also taking up too much space. Right now it's not of much use in this section right here. I would only make this take just one line, so probably reduce the size of the text here to make sure it all stays on one line and we don't need as many lines to show it. And this would also unlock another layer of white space, because we want to make sure action is as near as possible for our customer without having to scroll too much. So also for this, the product images here, obviously for clothing, product images are super important. You need to make sure you have good product images, and in this case they have them. They have model, they have a person in there, it's wearing the product, they're mentioning the model, size, height, weight and stuff like that. So that's obviously very, very good. Since this is a bit more, and they also have videos here, which is very, very good. Since this is a little bit more technical kind of clothing and not just normal clothing, I would probably have a little bit more imaging and product images related to the actual features of the product. Maybe even just one or two images in between all of the lifestyle images here, just to showcase also the functionality of the product, what it does, what are the specific benefits of it. Since it's a little bit more technical, I would invest maybe 1 to 2 images for every product to showcase that side of the product. But this is already very good in terms of showcasing the product. These images are pretty good, so that's fine. Then we have the color selector. There's a little bit too much white space here between the color selector and the size, just more wasted white space, which we shouldn't waste, especially on product pages. Then they have sizes. So the best way of dealing with sold out products or sold out variations in these cases is not just showing a sold out call to action, but for email marketing, getting emails of people who are interested in the product, getting their email, getting their contact information, so that you can segment them and then actually send them emails and retarget them when the products comes back to stock. So that's also very, very important here with sold out variations, sold out products. Do that, have email call to actions to get their contact information so that you can send them emails and send them reminders when the products come back to stock. But that's something also for the out of stock products. And they have, for the available sizes, they have the size guide here, probably a little bit small here on the side. It's a very good size guide. They have images in here, they have all of the lengths and size and everything like that, and they also have tips for how to measure yourself. So it's a pretty good size guide. I would have it a little bit bigger on the screen, taking up a little bit much more space, just for people not to complain about not seeing a size guide or missing the size guide, which is very important obviously for clothing. They have the add to cart there, which we already tried by adding the cart to product to cart. They have the item ships free, see details, and this I think redirects to the same shipping policy page. I would be careful with having call to actions other than the add to cart on the product page. It just adds a layer of distraction from the action we want them to take here, which is actually adding the product to cart. So I would just mention the free shipping and call it out without having a call to action to the shipping policy. And then if you need to mention those shipping policies, you can do that at a later stage in the checkout section and stuff like that. But on the product page, we want to keep it as clean as possible and have as little call to action as possible, preferably just one to add the product to cart. And then they also have the call out for the split payments with Klarna, which is obviously, this is good, especially if you're going to start getting at a higher ticket level. So like starting from $150 and up, 200, 300, and then up from there, it becomes basically essential. So for high ticket, medium to high ticket, having split payments is super good, especially if you're selling in Europe. If you're selling in Europe and you have split payments, you're going to do very, very well. Split payments, especially in the European market, is very, very useful. But in general, for every market, if you're going to start selling medium to high ticket, you need to start having and accepting split payments on your store. And in this case, they have the call out for that, which is good. Then they have also this banner right here, guaranteed for good with easy returns, exchanges, lifetime warranty, trade-in for gift cards. And this is also a call to action. And as I mentioned before, just having as little call to actions as possible on the actual product page to like not have people bouncing too much off of the product pages where the actual action happens. Because I clicked off screen, I clicked this wrongly, and so it redirected me to this page, and I didn't even notice that I clicked on something because it doesn't appear like a call to action when you look at it in this fashion. So probably just having the banner itself is good enough without having to redirect people out of the page. So that's also it. So here we have a description of the product, also available for women's. Good call out here. I would probably also actually have this call out in a different fashion for products that are available both for men's and women's. I would have a call to action here somewhere at the top. If you're looking at this product but for women, just click there and it redirects it to the exact same product but for women. Instead of having it here, it's good, but it's a little bit buried in the description. So I would probably have that call out a little bit higher up the page. And they have the features here and the specs. So this is what I mentioned before about products. In this case, it's a little bit more technical clothing. So mentioning these features and these specs in maybe even just one product image would be actually very good for the more technical and advanced customers. So that's also it. Customers also bought, which is stuff probably people added to their carts with this product. What I would use these sections for is actually, if you look at their collection page, which we were looking at before, they have a shop similar button for every product, which just shows you, it's just like a pop-up that opens up and it shows you similar size of this product, but just like maybe different colors or different like variations and stuff like that. What works very well here is that if you're showing, maybe let's say this is their higher price tier product for this specific section, so men outerwear, and this is their highest price product. Maybe some people can't afford to buy this, or like can't afford to get to this price point. So maybe even showing like lower price point products that are still the same style, still the same section, so men outerwear, but just a little bit less pricey would actually maybe help with getting that conversion rate higher up. So here they're already doing that, which is pretty good. Maybe just having the layout a little bit structured better here, because there are titles that are a little too big, so they're taking up a little too much space here for my liking, but that should be fine. Then they have the reviews here, which is pretty standard. They have this selector for like filtering through reviews, I think. So if you select something, it just filters people. Okay, so this is good. Obviously, if you're a customer and if you're looking to buy the product, I think like obviously to leave a review, you have to leave also all of this information. So your height, your weight and stuff like that. I think that probably may hurt their like reviews collection side of things. So they're probably collecting less reviews that they can, just because they're asking for this information. Obviously, if you're a customer, this helps a lot with making a buying decision. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty good as a way of filtering through reviews, and especially for clothing, this stuff is super important. Like people get very upset when they get a product and they just like saw it on the website and they saw it a certain way and they saw it with certain sizes, and then they get it and it's mildly to completely different from what they expected. So having these types of review filtering here is very good. Probably hurting the review collection, as I mentioned before, but you can use email marketing for stuff like this, for collecting reviews more efficiently, for getting people to leave information such as, for example, customer height, customer weight and stuff like that. But yeah, very, very good example here for purchasing decision. Very, very good for conversion rate also. And they have just a small section here for still interested, which is products we looked at but we didn't add to cart or buy, I assume. So they're just showing it here, but on the iPhone 15 Pro, which is the phone I'm using right here, which is a pretty big phone, it's pretty crunched up, so I can't really understand anything from what's shown here. So I would probably have it as a section like they have for these products right here, for those products. So just like the text in the title on top, and then the products under, just to like make people understand what's actually going on here, since right now it's not super clear, but it's a pretty good section if they pull it off in the right way. We're getting into one of the busiest seasons of the year for e-commerce and for purchasing in general. Everyone is in buying mode for BFCM and holiday season, and you need to be prepared for that. If you run a clothing e-commerce brand, you can take out of this video the many split tests I've mentioned to test on your store and to get conversion rate and AOV as high up as possible to be ready for BFCM. if you want a full audit of your brand, I do those on discovery calls, so you can book a discovery call with me for free for 30 minutes in the first link in the description. We'll go over your store on the call, and if you're a fit to work together, we'll start split testing your store for you, and if you're not, you'll get a full 30-minute audit for free for your store to get ready for BFCM. And if you run a different type of store, I already have 2 different breakdowns for supplement brands on my channel, but I'm going to record another full one in preparation for BFCM, also for supplements brand. If you run an e-commerce brand in a different niche, mention that down under in the comments, and I'll also make a breakdown for one of those, and see you in the next video.